Welcome to the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. I'm your host, Shifa, and I'm so glad you joined us today. On our segment today, we have wonderful guests, and we will be asking the question if you are poisoning yourself every day. So stay tuned. I advise you to get your blue pen and your white paper because you are about to get that natural healing transformation you've been seeking. You're watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. Healthy mind, body, family, finances, and community. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. I'm your host, Shifa, and we are here bringing you that natural healing information for your transformation you've been seeking. We are always talking about lifestyle, wellness, well-being. There's so many words that we use nowadays to talk about how we feel. Well, how we feel shows up in our body, our mind, our family, our finances, and our community. So with that, I would advise you to go get a blue pen and your white paper and get ready to take copious notes because you are about to get that natural healing transformation you've been seeking. Welcome. Today's show is, as always, full of information, the knowledge, the wisdom for you to utilize so that you can be powerful in your life. Our guests today are Reverend Claire Middleton, bringing us her Healthy Mind segment, and we are so wonderfully privileged to have LaPronda Spunn with us today when we are here talking about our business segment. And I'm particularly interested in this because she's bringing us some wonderful information about nonprofits and some of her journey as she has moved from one space in life to another space in life. So on today's show, my question for you is, are you innocently poisoning yourself and your family every single day, day in and day out? Do you know, are you aware of where those poisons might even be coming from? So the first thing we think about is food, right? Well, of course, yes. Here at Oneness Wellness Lifestyles, we're big on making sure that your foods are toxin-free, you're eating the best way that you possibly can. But did you know that a lot of disease, discomfort, is really coming from the personal care? Yeah, the beauty products, the hair care, the shampoo, the body washes, the soaps, the deodorants, everything that you put on your body. And everybody uses some personal care every day. Chances are at least about 10 things. Have you ever counted how many things you put on your body during the course of the day? It's amazing. I found out in my research that the base of personal care products, health and beauty products, are industrial chemicals. There are over 10,500 different ingredients that are used just as the base of the personal care items that you pick up. And it doesn't matter where you get them, whether you're shopping at the highest end or you're shopping at the dollar store. It doesn't matter. It's all industrial chemicals. The other thing that I really found out too is that, we're in this time of natural this and organic that and, botanicals here and flowers over there. And if you really look, when you find a personal care product that says natural on it, the same industrial chemicals are in it. They just put some lavender or some rosemary and mint in it, and voila, you still have this wonderful this wonderful fragrance, right? This wonderful smelling product, and they can say they have natural ingredients in it, but the same industrial chemical bases are being used. Now, why am I all up in arms about this? Because it's time that you really got to know that you know by reading the label and knowing what you're looking for, so that you can stop poisoning yourself and your family every day. That's why I'm here, so that we can know better and do better. There's a saying that knowledge is power. Well, one of my mentors taught me that knowledge is only power when it is utilized, right? When you put it in a system, when you can systematize it and utilize it. That means you have a process. So we're going to talk about what the process is, so you can know better, so you can do better and stop poisoning yourself every day. Now, let me just say this right now. You may not even care. But if you don't want to get sick in the long term, we have to take notice. I encourage you to care enough about yourself, to love yourself enough to stop contaminating your body with these industrial chemicals. There's lots of things that we can do, and I'm going to give you some recipes in our last segment of the show today for what you can do to put on your body that is natural, that is healing, and also an herbal tea formula that is good for cleansing the bloodstream so that you can have beautiful, radiant skin. It's a skincare tonic. So let me get back to this thing about the toxins we put on our body. We just kind of like slather them on, and we like making all the bubbles and all of that, not even realizing that we're hurting ourselves. As a matter of fact, we're enjoying doing that because we all want to be soft, and we want it to smell good, and we want to look good all the time, and that's fine. That's fine. But we don't want to be duped into believing. We don't want to be tricked. We don't want to be hoodwinked and bamboozled into making ourselves sick, poisoning ourselves. And that's what's been going on. So we want to know better so we can do better. So yeah, I'm saying that a lot because I want you to get this. I want you to get this because everybody uses personal care products. So there's between 126 to 550 unique individual chemicals that you put on your body every single day before you leave the house in the morning. That's astounding. And these chemicals cause your endocrine system to shut down. So what is your endocrine system? Your endocrine system is the system of glands within your body that secretes your hormones. So where do we hear about hormones? Our thyroid, our pituitary, our pineal. Okay, those are the ones that are mostly known. Our adrenal glands, right, are where the adrenaline comes from. Okay, so our solar plexus, there are 7 major glands in the body, and these glands are what control our autonomic nervous system. So I know I'm getting ready to go a little bit deep here, but it's important because when we talk about stress, we talk about our nerves, really, right? Back in the day, we used to say, you get on my nerves, right? Now we say, you stressing me, right? It's the same thing. It's the same conversation. So what I want to do is pinpoint that where the nerves are, and the nerves are your autonomic nervous system. Okay, so there are 2 places. Then you have your spinal cord. Well, your endocrine glands secrete the hormones that make all of that work. And when your hormones begin to shut down, you begin to age rapidly. Your nervous system begins to become less and less able to tell the rest of your body what it needs to be doing. And when that happens, we call the effect of that dis-ease, right? And when we have this disease, the last place we look is our personal care. We never look there. We're talking about food. Yeah, we will go look at the food and we'll change some things. We're looking for alternative ways to do things to treat ourselves, but we never, hardly ever think about that it could be coming from the industrial chemicals that we put on our body every day. So I'm here to raise a big red flag and say, check the label on your personal care products. So here's a couple things to look for. Fragrance, the word fragrance. Now, if you shop at any of the mall stores that just have all the bubblies and the shampoos and lotions and those kind of places I'm talking about, they're big on fragrance. Did you know that fragrance, just the one word fragrance, is a cocktail, a concoction of over 200 individual 200 industrial chemicals to just make it smell like it does. That's not a natural smell. They might call it raspberry or mango or whatever they call it, but that's not a natural smell. That's something that they concocted in the laboratory. So just that one word. Then, of course, sodium lauryl sulfates, parabens, phthalates, and these are really insidious. They are plastics that are in skincare that actually penetrate into the cell structure. It's part of the delivery system to help get whatever it is they have in the product into your skin, into your body. So be clear that everything that you put on your body goes in your body, goes in your cellular structure, gets in your bloodstream. Everything. So when you are getting ready for work in the morning, getting ready for whatever your day holds, and you're putting all this on, it's important to be mindful that whatever you're putting on your body is affecting your health, either good or bad. So the question is, what's lurking in your skincare? What is lurking in your skincare? Have you noticed? So those are just a few things, and I could go on and on because we could talk about artificial preservatives, chemical colors, all of that. We don't want it in our body. We don't want it in our body. So in the last segment of the show today, I'm going to come back with some herbals and also some things you can do to help yourself stop poisoning yourself and your family. This is of such critical importance that I wanted to really bring it to your attention. Now, here's something else that you probably don't realize, but when we're using all of these chemicals and artificial preservatives in the shower, in the bath, and even when we go to the bathroom, it's going down into the rivers and streams, right? Because if we're taking a shower with it, it's going out of the house, down the drain, and these poisons are going out into the environment. And so they're not just affecting us as humans, this is affecting the entire ecosystem and the wildlife. It is so, I keep using the word critical because that's, this is a critical condition. When they say things are a critical condition, we need to pay attention. We need some intensive care here because we really need to, and I'm using that word specifically, we need to pay closer attention. So as I said, we're going to continue to look at this when we come back, but stay tuned for our guests. We have Reverend Claire Middleton with our Healthy Minds segment and a very special interview with LaPronda Spunn. So stay tuned. You're watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show, and I am your host, Shifa, the natural healing voice of the soul of Mother Earth. We'll be right back.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Claire Middleton from the Center for Spiritual Living Colors in Charlotte, North Carolina. Welcome. Well, one of the subjects that I find we need to continue to go back to is prosperity. And especially if we get caught up in the conversations that are around us today, we can walk away feeling less than. So today I'm going to share with you the Millionaires of Genesis, and this is written by LaPronda. I'm not going to do the whole book. I'm just going to share a little bit with you, and perhaps you will purchase the book yourself or get into one of the classes that we offer around prosperity. So the millionaires that she talks about are Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. They were the millionaires in Genesis. And desire is its root of all of it, and the word desire means the Father within. And when I was doing the research here, I've used that word desire and knew it had something to do with God and couldn't remember where I got it, so thank you, LaPronda. I found it again and I appreciate it. Let's start with Adam. Adam starts out and he is made from the soil, the substance of the soil, the richness of the soil. And so that particular symbol really is telling us that the substance that Adam was made from is all around us, and it was rich soil. And so Adam is made out of this richness. And at some point along the way, Adam takes his eyes away from the prosperity that is all around him and begins to look at evil and begins to look at lack and limitation. So I want to stop there, and I want to think about how we are like Adam. We all come from that same substance. We all are descendants from this substance. And so around us is all of this prosperity. Right now where I am filming, I'm able to look out at water. I'm in a beautiful setting. When I walk outside and I move towards Charlotte, I am surrounded by beautiful leaves and trees and flowers. And so clearly I am surrounded by the substance of prosperity. And what I think happens for many of us is that we fail to look at what we've been blessed with and we focus on what we do not have. Now, I don't know whether you've heard someone say this before or you need to hear it again, but what we focus on, we bring about in our lives. What we focus on, we bring about in our lives. So a lot of times this teaching is accused of people putting their head in the sand. I don't want you to put your head in the sand. I want you to take your head and I want you to fill your mind with all of the wonderful blessings that you have in your life. And I want you to take the time every day throughout the day and focus on them. Again, why? Because what you focus on, you bring about in your life. So it is key that we continue to look at how blessed we are as opposed to what we do not have. As we look at how blessed we are, something happens in saying I'm blessed. More blessings come. When you bless something or somebody, more comes. That's why, and I'm laughing because when people sneeze, I don't say God bless you because you're going to have another sneeze. Try it and see if that's not true. What I think to myself is wholeness and health, because you're demonstrating something other than that. There's some kind of an irritation. But blessing a situation and blessing your life increases the good. So one of the key factors here for Adam is that Adam forgot that he was surrounded by all this good, and he began to look at less than. So one of the things that we're challenged in our lives is constantly staying within the garden of the good. Look at all the things that you have. You know, I used to share with my congregants that there was a gentleman here in Charlotte that I felt was an absolute blessing if you really understood it. And this gentleman, for whatever reason, did not have any legs. And he just had a trunk and the rest of his body. And he was on a gurney. And he would roll himself all around Charlotte. He wasn't confined to one area. You'd see him in the northern part of Charlotte. You'd see him in the western part of Charlotte. He got around. And each time I looked at this man, I could not help but say, thank you, God. Thank you for my ability to walk. Thank you for the car that I have in. Thank you for life being so much easier than it is for this man. But the one thing that I also looked at is that he did not give up. And when you rode by him, he wasn't crying and he wasn't a negative energy. He took what he had and he utilized it. So that is a constant reminder to me of all the blessings that I have in my life. And so this piece here that Adam brings to the table really is recognizing your blessings, focusing on your blessings so that you stay in the land of the blessings, the land of the good. Man calls on universal substance to prosper him and his affairs daily. There's a secret that Catherine Ponder reveals, that there were people even prior to the Bible that knew the secrets of substance. And they didn't share it because they felt that the average man wouldn't know how to use it. And it's not working hard. You see, that's where Adam went. Adam went to the consciousness of having to work hard. And you can talk to people all the time, and that's what they think. That's where money comes from, working hard. But the reality is that your prosperity comes from your mind, your consciousness, and recognizing that there's this substance around us that has the ability to form and show up. It is the underlying invisibleness that shows up as form. And so these ancients knew that, and they knew how to take this substance and talk to it and form it. Now, this is where I share my mother. See, I grew up in the projects. My mother at the time was sick. Sometimes she could work, many times she couldn't. And she received a check for $113. Out of that check was her medicine, her rent, clothing, food, the whole 9 yards. So I could still see myself getting ready to go out the door and say to my mother, Mom, how much money do we have? Do we have any money? She'd say, don't worry about it. Got $1 and some change. And I walk out the door and say to myself, $1 and some change? How are we going to make it? But I have to tell you that I never, ever heard my mother complain about money. Ever. I also saw her take money that we had and share it with others. I saw her take food that we have and invite people to come and have dinner with us. And I'd sit there and I'd say to myself, what is she doing? I just bought 2 chops. What is she going to feed them? And I would sit and I would watch this woman over and over again be able to feed 4, 5, 6 people and food left over. And I would watch her. And I watched her attitude. She never begrudged anybody anything. She was always generous to others. And we always had. We always had. The funny thing would be that whoever she gave something to, they'd show up at the door with something back. So we were always receiving, she was always giving. It was a mystery to me. And one of the things that she used to always say is, you make your own life. And I would walk around and I'd say to myself, I make my own life. I did this to myself. I make my own. And it was many years later that I understood through my thought process, I make my own life. And so for me, as my mother being an example of this substance, because that's what it was substance showing up where literally there wasn't anything before. But because she had a great belief and understanding that God took care of her and her family, guess what? God took care of her and her family. And I am so grateful that I inherited that knowingness. It took a while for me to observe her, and it took a while for me to begin to practice the things that she said and did. But I did. I did do that. I began to speak the things that I chose to have in my life. And what I clearly understand is as you speak into this substance, it's stuff that's all around us. Something happens. It responds to your vibration, and it responds to the vibration of that particular word. So speaking to substance is a secret, and it's one of the many secrets that are revealed in this book. And I invite you to begin to speak to substance. And part of this prosperity is knowing what you desire and having the nerve and audacity to speak it. You know, sometimes people say, oh, God knows what I want. How? Did you tell God what you wanted? See, if you walk around and you say, I want more money, and you find a dime, then you got what you asked for. But if in reality you desire to live a millionaire's life, then you really have got to speak that. You've got to begin to feel that and act that. You've got to turn away from the less than and begin to carry yourself in a very different manner. One of the things is that you need to carry yourself on a level of I've got it as opposed to I don't. You see, I know that a millionaire mind is always looking at the more and increase as opposed to decrease. So there are many secrets that Catherine Ponder shares around prosperity. From time to time I will come back and revisit prosperity because I know that is an issue for most people. We've been brainwashed into thinking less than. But I want you to know that you are from that rich, radiant substance, the same substance that Adam had. And you can be rich. That's the truth. And so it is.
We are so wonderfully privileged to have LaPronda Spunn with us today when we are here talking about our business segment. And I'm particularly interested in this because she's bringing us some wonderful information about nonprofits and some of her journey as she has moved from one space in life to another space in life. So let me just give you a little bit of information about LaPronda because this is what you need to know so that you can make an informed decision about where you're going, or maybe a friend of yours or a business colleague. LaPronda Spunn is the Chief Visionary Architect. And we were talking just a little bit before the show, and I'm just knocked out by that. So that is really wonderful. And so the title, she's going to give you the definition for that because I'm not even going to try to do that. But let me just share with you that LaPronda is the principal and chief visionary architect of Lain Consulting, LLC. This is a full-service consulting firm for nonprofits. It's actually a specialty. You know how whenever something is in need of that special touch, you need a specialist. And LaPronda is a specialist in nonprofits, and she has a track record of being able to procure funds from private and government grants for funding businesses, nonprofit businesses, of course. So what I really want to do is just read this. LaPronda is the principal and chief visionary architect of Lain Consulting, LLC, a full-service consulting firm specializing in establishing the nonprofit and the nonprofit management consulting. Since 2004, LaPronda has been responsible for successful procurement of $1.2 million in grants from public and private foundations and local governments as well. This is a very special interview, so sit back, stay tuned, and we'll begin our conversation with LaPronda in just one moment. Happy Healthy Healing Day. Your sister Shifa here from Oneness Wellness Lifestyles, here with another Emergency Health Awareness Alert. This is an Emergency Health Awareness Alert. Today we're talking about artificial colors. Though not as common in more reputable vitamin and supplement brands, artificial colors are still present in many mainstream supplements. The Pfizer-owned brand supplements marketed as Centrum, for instance, contain toxic coloring agents like FD&C number 2 aluminum lake and FD&C red number 40 aluminum lake, both of which are potential neurotoxins. Even children's vitamins like Flintstones Complete contains these and other toxic coloring agents. This has been an Emergency Health Awareness Alert. Yes, an Emergency Health Awareness Alert, because it matters to your health. I'm your sister Shifa from Oneness Wellness Lifestyles, and if you'd like to obtain whole food, toxin-free vitamins and supplements for you and your family, you can visit us online at onennesslifestyles.com. Have a happy, healthy, healing day. Well, welcome back to the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. I am your host, Shifa, and we're here with our very special guest, LaPronda Spunn. Welcome to the show. So happy to have you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. I'm just really interested in this title that you have here, this Chief Visionary Architect. That blew me away when I saw that. It's just so imaginative.
Right.
So imaginative. So tell me a little bit about that, please.
Well, that title came from the fact that I work with nonprofits as business. However, what I'm really doing is breathing life into the dreams of people who are visionaries, dream builders, and entrepreneurial spirits who want to give and have a dream to give their charitable service in the community. So Chief Visionary Architect is really me partnering with them to craft their vision and to really birth that dream into reality.
That is so wonderful. And so specializing in helping entrepreneurs, and you said entrepreneurial spirit, and that is so key.
Yes.
That is really important because so many of us have a deep desire to give our skills, gifts, and talents and treasures in a charitable way. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
For being our partner as a Chief Visionary Architect.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about Lain Consulting, LLC. How did you get started?
Well, I actually got started by accident. I had a friend and a mentor in Raleigh, North Carolina, who runs a tax and accounting firm. And he would constantly call me about clients that he had who were nonprofits. They had questions about everything from their boards, about writing grants, about a 990. And so what I would do is answer the questions. He made the suggestion that I go and get a business license. And he saw something in me at that time that I didn't even know about myself. And that was that what I offered, the knowledge, skills, and experiences that I had was valuable and could probably be lucrative in business.
That is wonderful to have a friend.
Yeah.
Say, come on, girl, you need to do this.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. So are you from Raleigh?
I'm not. I'm actually from Washington, D.C.
Okay, all right.
I landed in Charlotte, North Carolina by way of Johnson C. Smith University.
Ah, okay. Wonderful. Shout out to Johnson
To my
C.
own
Smith.
alma
Yes.
mater. Yes.
Yes. So you are helping us to get our vision out there as nonprofits, and the beginning you said it was like an accident, right? So we know there are no accidents in the universe.
Absolutely.
And so it's turned out that this is what you do now.
It is.
And that's really wonderful. So you're talking about nonprofits. Many of us have heard of nonprofits, right? What is a nonprofit organization? Help us.
So a nonprofit organization is an organization that uses its surplus or what we would consider excess revenues to achieve its goals, to maintain its operations, and also to expand programs and services in the communities that they're serving. They are run by boards or governed by boards, and the most common form of a nonprofit designation, or what we call a tax-exempt status, is the 501c3.
Okay. So they're run by boards. So no one actually owns an LLC.
It is a public entity.
It's a public entity.
It is.
Okay. That's good to know. That's good to
Yes.
know. So what would you tell someone who is looking to either start a nonprofit or just go in business for themselves?
Well, the first thing that I would say, especially if you're looking to start a nonprofit, is to do your homework. It is important that you know, first and foremost, what you're going into, and if there are others in the community that are providing that service as well. Do your homework and know what you offer that's unique and different than anything else that someone is doing in the community. You have to know what your unique differentiator is. Also, know if it's a hobby or a habit, or if this really is going to be business for you, because the business of nonprofits, it is business. You have to have the leadership skills. There are things that you will have to do administratively to run the business of nonprofits. So be clear about that. And then finally, and first and foremost, I would say, get clear on your vision. Get clear on what it is that you're looking to do as a nonprofit, and offer that service in the community once you've identified that.
Very good. So in this economic climate that we're in, are people giving to charity, or is there still funds available, and how do nonprofits survive in this economic time that we are living in?
Yes, many people still give to nonprofits. I think the homework that many nonprofits have to do is being clear about the plan and what they're offering, being clear about the vital mission that they have in the community, because many people will give when they're clear about what they're giving to. They're also willing to give when they are compassionate and understanding and can relate to what it is that you're offering in the community and how that relates to them personally. They also will give when they know that you have a qualified and skilled board, that you are looking to last in the community, and they're also even willing to support you in your fundraising efforts, and that can be plentiful and many. Grants are one form of funding and fundraising, but there are many other ways to raise funding for nonprofits in the community. It can be everything from individual donors who just want to donate funding monies to your organization, and that can come in a number of ways. Special events, many people know about golf tournaments, poker tournaments. There are also crowdfunding, which is a big thing right now, where people are posting videos and requesting support from the community and using social media as a venue to engage their audience and potential donors. There are so many ways for funds and fundraising to survive in this economic climate, but you have to do your homework. You have to have a plan. Persons have to look at your website and understand what they're giving to and be clear about your mission and how they relate to it.
Thank you. That is so valuable.
Yes.
Thank you. She's like dropping jewels here. It's okay. So with that, because you're giving us a lot. Thank you. What can clients or prospects expect to learn more from you? But what can they expect when they are engaging you in business?
What I pride myself on is integrity in business. So what I say is that I want to be a trusted partner of the client, because they have to know that what I'm offering them is factual information. They walk away more informed than they were before. I've had clients to meet with me, decide they wanted to wait to do business, go out and research, and then come back and say, everything that you said to me was accurate. And I respect that. I want people to do their homework. They also can expect commitment. We're going to stick with you until we get it done. Whatever the service is that we agree upon,
Love that. Yes.
we're going to walk you through that process. We know this is your dream, and we have the dream of birthing your vision just as we're birthing our own. And so we're walking together. It's a win-win for both. The other is results. We want you to know that when you've placed your money and your time and effort into this process with us, that in the end you have something tangible to walk away from with.
Thank you for giving us the result. That's when we start out, we want to get to the result.
Yes, you want to be further along than when you walked up and met me. Yes,
certainly. Thank you. So give us a few examples of your accomplishments. What have you done, LaPronda?
Well, professionally, my company has been really successful this year. I'm excited to say we've won a few awards. So one of them is we were the Minority Business Enterprise of the Year at the Crowns of Enterprise Awards with the city and the county of Mecklenburg. So that is a very distinguished honor that amongst many of the companies and clients in the city and the county, we were selected as the top amongst minority businesses. So that was a huge honor.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Another was that we were selected to participate in the 2014 Count Me In for Women's Economic Independence program. It is a business accelerator program that moves your company from where you are to revenues of up to $250,000 over 18 months, and then the goal is $1 million within 5 years.
Okay.
So we're excited about that, and I'm learning so much being in that program. And then finally on June the 3rd, I was selected as one of Charlotte Business Journal's 2014 Women in Business Achievement Awards.
Well, congratulations. You got a lot going on. That is
I'm so
beautiful.
excited.
That is so beautiful.
Thank you.
So for our listening audience, I want you to, call us and let me know how excited you are about the achievements of LaPronda for Lain Consulting LLC, helping us with our nonprofits. This is such a juicy conversation because when you talk about helping nonprofits and being clear,
right?
That you said that several times.
Yes.
You got to be clear. You have to know what your plan is, and then the people who want to give have to be able to be clear when they see what you're presenting, what your presentation is. So that is in and of itself. You said first and foremost do that, and so if we got nothing else, and I'm telling you, like I said, you're dropping jewels, y'all. we have a basket full here now, but I just wanted to reiterate that because that is like so important.
Thank you.
So important. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
all of your success.
Thank
on
you.
all of your success. So when we talk about accomplishments, now your business is relatively young.
It is.
And you've done so much.
Yes.
So I was reading your bio, and you started in 2012, 2013?
I started in 2004 when I was mentioning meeting with a friend and mentor. However, it was part-time and PRN, and I was still working in corporate America at the time, so I couldn't give it much focus. I had clientele, but I couldn't give them the focus and attention that I wanted to. So in 2012, the end of 2012, I just finally got the courage to jump off the corporate cliff, is what I tell folks, and jump completely into my dream. Yes. Having had the clientele, having had the vision, and having it sit on the shelf for way too long, it was time to jump in completely. Oh, wonderful. So 18 months to the day of me jumping in full time completely, I can stand on stages and receive these awards. Yes. So that is meaningful, and I'm so grateful.
And that is an accomplishment. And that's why I wanted to bring that in when you talk about the accomplishments of what others have given you.
Yes.
But you had to first acknowledge that lived in you, that you had the dream and the vision, and you had to architect your own vision.
Yes.
And jumping off the corporate cliff.
Absolutely.
And you survived.
I did.
Big time.
And I think that's why I'm so committed to assisting others, because I know what it's like to allow your dreams to remain in your head or on a shelf. Let's get out there, have the courage to move forward one step at a time. Okay. And so that is really what my partnership with clients are about.
Wonderful, wonderful. So how can potential clients and business people, how can we get in touch with you? We're interested, we love you, we want to know how we can partner with you. How do we do that?
Well, we are on the web, of course. We have a website presence, and that's lainconsulting.com. We're also on Facebook. We have a Facebook fan page at Lain Consulting LLC. We're on Twitter at Lain Consulting. And then they can reach us by phone at 704-819-6012. 704-819-6012.
Tell the audience.
And we look forward to serving you and working with you and helping you raise monies for your nonprofits.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been so wonderful sitting and talking with you. We've known each other for a little while
We
now,
have.
but this has been so insightful. I'm happy to know you more, happy to introduce you to the community in another way.
Thank you.
And thanks, LaPronda, for coming. Love you. Thank you. We'll be right back. You're watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. I'm Shifa with LaPronda Spain. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. I'm your host, Shifa, and you are watching the Owl Media Network. In our first segment, I was talking about, really kind of ranting about the personal care. And with good cause, because it matters to your health what you're putting on your body. It matters. And just to recap a little bit, we talked about how many skincare products, how many personal care products you use on your body before you even leave the house in the morning. And how innocently you're really poisoning yourself and your family every single day. We have established that the base ingredients for personal care products are industrial chemicals. And these industrial chemicals will shut down your hormones, make them go out of whack. Your hormones, as we said, are secreted by your endocrine system. If you're not familiar with that word, your endocrine system is a system of glands within the body. The pineal, the pituitary, the thyroid is the most famous, I think, or infamous, one or the other. And then we have our thymus, our hypothalamus, we have our solar plexus, our adrenal glands, and they all secrete hormones that run everything in the body. Okay, nothing can happen without your hormones telling the rest of the body what to do. So a lot of times we think it's our brain doing that, and that's not exactly so. Or we think it's our spinal cord doing that, and all of that gets signals from the pineal and the pituitary so that the body knows what to do. But when you put in on a consistent basis, like this society does every day, all day long, we're putting something on our body, something on our skin, and we have the level of disease that's affecting our communities. We got to look at everything. So yes, the food on one hand, very important, but just as important, equally as important, is checking out what it is you're putting on your body every single day, poisoning yourself. So we're here to know better so we can do better. One of the insidious things that happens when we use these industrial chemicals in these personal care, health and beauty care products, even when they say that they're natural, they just put the lavender and the essential oils and all that right on top of the industrial chemicals so they can say natural, and it has, these wonderful essential oils in it, but it still has that poison in it. If you don't know how to read the label, then you're just going to be, unfortunately, like everybody else, most of the population, poisoning yourself on a daily basis. Okay? And when your endocrine system shuts down, when your hormones get out of whack, your body doesn't know what to do. It suppresses your immune system. So I promised you in the first segment that I was going to give you some things to do, make some suggestions. Because this is not just about me coming, Oneness Wellness Lifestyles is really about me helping you to live a happier, healthier, more expanded, fuller version of a healthy you. And in order to do that, you have to have some tools. So I invite you to get your blue pen and your white paper and get ready to take notes, because you're about to get that information that leads to your transformation to a healthier you. Healthy mind, body, family, finances, and society. So here's a herbal recipe that cleanses the blood and ultimately helps to increase the well-being of your skin. Your skin is your largest elimination organ. Your pores are a two-way street. Your pores secrete perspiration and release toxins, and your pores also breathe in, right? Your pores are part of your respiratory, and also your pores take in nutrients. It takes in everything that you put on your body. It absorbs. It absorbs. That's part of consumption. You consume by absorbing, by ingestion, right? So we want to make sure that we're feeding the skin properly. Now, you're probably ready by now, so here's the recipe. There are 3 herbs. The first is red clover blossoms. The second is yellow dock. That's 2 words, yellow and dock, like D-O-C-K, yellow dock. And the third is nettles, N-E-T-T-L-E-S, nettles. Now, 1 tablespoon of each one of these herbs in a mason jar. Put them in the jar. Do not boil the herbs. Okay, do not boil the herbs. Put the herbs in the jar and pour boiling water on top of the herbs. So a mason jar is generally anywhere from 24 to 32 ounces. So just pour the water on top of your 1 tablespoon of each of those herbs. Let it steep for at least 20 minutes. Strain it and then drink the tonic. This takes herbal teas to a whole nother level. You know, I've been doing this for 43 years, so I gotta go back in the day when we knew what we were getting. You couldn't buy the herbal stuff like on the shelf in the grocery store. You had to know what to get. And these herbals are medicinal to your body. So here's your formula one more time. Red clover, 1 tablespoon. Yellow dock, 1 tablespoon. And nettles, 1 tablespoon. In a 24 or 32 ounce mason jar. Pour the boiling water on top of the herbs. Do not boil the herbs. Cap it and let it steep for at least 20 minutes. Strain it and drink your tonic. You can sweeten it to taste with honey or stevia. And you will find when you do this a few times a week that your skin will begin to glow, that your bloodstream gets much clearer, okay? So it's important to have things that we can do to help with our personal care. So we say, well, that's something I do on the inside. So what about on the outside? Well, many people are familiar with just using food grade oils on your body. Food grade oils. So instead of all of the industrial chemicals, we got to take it right back to Mother Earth. She's already provided. It's already been given what we should put on our bodies to maintain our health and well-being, to maintain soft, supple, radiant, glowing, healthy skin. But when we put in all of the man-made food and then we put on all of the man-made chemicals, we just wreck health-wise. And then we wonder why over a period of time everybody's getting the same problems. That the hospitals are packed. That depression and nervous conditions are prevalent. What is going on? You got to look at the labels on your food and eat as high on the food chain as you can in terms of what we can get from the vegetable kingdom, okay? And also, we got to make sure that what we're putting on our body is healing our body. So everything that we put in our body is healing our body. Everything that we put in is healing our body. So I asked the question, what's lurking in your skincare? So to make sure that there's not anything in there that can harm you or your family, here's some food grade oils that you can use on your body topically and in the tub, and also to help with hair care. You know these oils: olive oil, almond oil, jojoba oil. Coconut oil has become very popular now and has always been excellent. You are wanting to use grapeseed oil, apricot kernel oil, walnut oil, okay? Peanut oil. So if you don't have an allergy to peanuts or to nuts in general, you can use all of the nut oils. Now, this is just a transition. This is something to help to get you from using all of the man-made chemical-based products to using something more natural. Now, these are what we call carrier oils, although they can be used as olive oil is wonderful, almond oil is wonderful. They can all be used just as they are. However, they are much more effective and healing to the body when they also include some vitamin E, vegetable glycerin, and essential oils that are specific to whatever it is that you may be dealing with. Or how about this? You just want radiant, beautiful, ageless skin. You want to not wrinkle so soon. I mean, gravity's going to win eventually. Okay, let's be clear about that. However, for as long as we can keep our skin in a very supple and radiant, healthy condition, we can avoid the dry lines and wrinkles, the premature aging, the sagging skin. And I'm not talking about only on our face. I'm talking about all over your body. All over your body. So you can maintain the elasticity of your skin cells, so that you don't have to sag all over. And of course, when we talk about that, we've got to do exercise and all of those things too. So I just wanted to give you some things that you could do. I wanted to put something on your mind so that you can know better and do better with regard to your health and your well-being when it comes to taking care of your skin, taking care of your personal care, so that you can stop poisoning yourself every day. You no longer want to be among those people who use 126 to 550 industrial chemicals on your body every day. So this means you got to get the trash can out and start throwing some of that stuff away. I know, it's like, really? I spent good money for that. Yeah, you spent good money to poison yourself. So you now know better, so you can do better. You've been watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show, and I want to thank you so much for watching, so much for your time and your attention. You could do 100 other things, I'm sure. I've been your host, Shifat, the natural healing voice of the soul of Mother Earth, bringing you natural health and healing, mind, body, family, finances, and society.